Welcome to the Ready to Love Season 7 exclusive interviews. This is Couples Couch with
Pat.
And I'm Cam. The reunion special part 1 and part 2 are now over, and Blake is back to provide us with some updates regarding his experience on Ready to Love Miami. Let's welcome Blake back to the show.
Welcome back.
Hi, Blake. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Cam. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. We're so happy to have you back for a quick update. But before we get started, I want to drop a special mention to the fans in the Ready to Love Facebook group as they sent in their questions to have you to answer. So these are coming directly from the fans, okay?
Okay. Right.
Okay, let's get into it. How many children do you have, and were you ever married to any of the children's mothers?
Tom, wait a minute.
I'll give you a partial answer before going too deep. Yes, I was married, and yes, I have 3 boys.
Oh, okay.
Yo, people trying to get all your information. They want your flash forward, your soul, everything.
Yeah, it comes with the territory, right? I mean, people want to know. People want to know.
They really want to know.
I guess it's better to have people interested than forgot about you.
That's true.
Very true. Facts.
You stay relevant this way. I know you were trying to be a gentleman, but why didn't you insist to Tommy to handle the Blake choose me story? Was there any footage of you saying that to Jeffrey?
No, so nothing was ever said to Jeffrey. I don't know why she came up with the story. As far as why I never said anything to Tommy, I mean, there was no basis, right? If nothing was ever said, I don't have anything to approach somebody over, addressing being said. Part one. And the other part, sometimes I think people just, they like that type of energy. And, like I've said on all of the interviews and I said on the show, I just don't give into negative energy, right? There's so much positivity, so many positive things going on the show with connections. And it really just wasn't worth my time. I didn't feel offended by it. I never feel offended by somebody else's problems.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. All right. So you went on many dates during your Ready to Love experience. Ultimately, what is it about Sue that made you choose her?
Sue Ann is funny. I think that she was a little misrepresented, misunderstood, along the same lines as I was for the show. If you got to see the reunion, you got to see him playing, got to see him play football with Lyndon, for instance, right? Mm-hmm. She's really a clown. She's really a clown. She's not always, so straight-laced, so calculated.
Right.
And we laugh. I mean, we literally laugh, all day. We laugh through the whole process. Maybe that's why they didn't want to show our journey, because we were just making jokes the entire time. Right. It was really organic. She was easy to talk to. We speak the same language. We're in similar places in life. And we can have straight, direct conversations, not too much chaser, not too much filler, and there's no feelings being hurt behind, genuine, open, honest conversations.
Okay. So it just seems like you guys connected off of just having a very relaxed connection, pretty much, right?
Very true. Very true.
Okay, so what's the status? What has taken place with you and Sue after the reunion special? Are you still in a relationship?
Yeah, so I guess there's a lot going on. I mean, understanding that this was filmed about 9 to 10 months ago, I think like somewhere around August or September. We've gotten back to regular life, real life, and that creates a couple of challenges. But we're working through it. We're figuring things out, and we're gonna see where everything lands, ultimately.
Okay. All right, let's talk a little bit about the reunion special while we have you, right? So what are your thoughts about Tony and Morgan, like how their relationship panned out? What are your thoughts about that?
I think that they're both very passionate. I think they're both a little explosive, right? But the funny thing is I probably have the most unpopular opinion. I feel like, that's the relationship that probably will stand and set the test of time. Right? When you think back to your family members that can't stand each other, but they've been together for 45 years, right? That's all I used to think about when I would see them go back and forth, because, they both have these strong opinions about each other. But when you ask them, like, is it over? They both give you this look like, well, we're going to see. So I wouldn't be surprised to find out that, this is not the end of Tony and Morgan at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Their connection is just so strong. You know, they
Yeah.
really seem so connected. And even though it may come off toxic to them, you know, or appear toxic on the outside looking in, like you said, those really be the relationships
Yeah.
that really stick
For
Some
real.
together.
people just
For real.
operate in chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
And
and for some people, like you said, like with the chaos, it's the for them, it's a demonstration of love. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like
mhm,
just being willing to go through this means the person really cares about me. So
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised at all. Wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised at all.
yeah.
so and you might not have an update on my favorite person from the show. What was his name? Do
Who's
you
that?
like sex?
Oh, Fabrice.
Fabrice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fabrice.
Mhm.
What do
It
you?
seemed like after the show he was just done with everything. He wanted
Yeah.
no
So
part.
for Breeze, he after he was eliminated, like he didn't come back. You know, he did his show via video. I think he said he was traveling, so he
Mhm.
did his piece over video. But he played a very short role. You know what I mean? I think he was only in for that one
Yeah, because he came
episode.
late and then
Um,
he left.
Yeah.
yeah, left early. Yeah, he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. He's a little different. You know, maybe it's because he's from overseas, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they move a little differently.
Okay.
Um,
And that's
but
what I was gonna ask. Was he playing a role or is that how he is even off camera? He's just like
you know what? It's so hard because we didn't get
everything.
the guys didn't get any time with him, right?
Oh.
So
Oh,
the
okay.
way that the production worked, when they came on and they did that initial introduction, he went out on the dates with the women, and then the women eliminated him. So he didn't have time to spend with us, like in the men's lounge,
Right.
and the way that we got to bond. So it's a little hard to say. It's a little
Yeah,
hard to say.
that makes
Okay.
sense. That
Okay.
makes
Were you
sense.
shocked at how Cynthia and Anthony's relationship panned out at the end? What are your thoughts about that?
um, shocked. Um, I mean, which we want the open and honest answer here.
Yes.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked in the sense that they could not work it out. I'm
Mm,
shocked in the sense that they couldn't work it out, but I'm not shocked in the idea of having hurdles, right? Because we're all, as we're meeting each other, we have these decisions that we're expected to make that are some pretty deep decisions based
mhm,
off of limited time in a controlled environment, right? So people don't understand. Technically, we only date on the show. You can talk to people off camera, but you're not supposed to meet up with people off camera. So you
Oh.
wind up building a relationship with someone off of maybe 10, 12 hours of time together, right?
Okay.
When you put it
Okay.
all together. So, nothing against either one of them, but you're bound to have conflicts. The same thing with Suanne and I, right? Like you're just
Mhm,
bound to have conflicts over like real life and things that have to be discussed that are
mhm.
outside of, the show. So not really surprised, but I would like to see them, stick it out. She was one of my connections as well. It was she and Suanne. Um,
Mhm.
and is a great guy. I kept, giving him praises. Actually, I gave all of the guys praises on the show.
Right.
They don't really show that. They don't show us men
Of
supporting each
course.
other. Right. They
Yeah.
just
Right.
show us getting beat up. But
Right.
but no, it was really unfortunate because I do think that, they both have a lot of love. I think that they really want to give, and they both are looking for something, that I think that they possibly could provide to each other if they were able to get it right.
I hope that they are able to come together and figure it out because they would make a really good couple
Well,
together.
we all still spend time together, right? So even though the show is over, I mean, we all spend time together. Them probably a little bit more than me because I'm out in Houston right now. I'm supposed to go back to
Yeah.
Florida, go home, and I
Right.
haven't been home in a little bit. But
Yeah.
we all still, we talk on the phone like we're like a family, right? So things are still being worked out and figured out, even though the cameras are off, and even though it's been all this time.
Okay. So you have watched the reunion, right? You've watched part
Okay.
one and part two.
Yeah.
And you were there live and in person. So you saw the interaction between Blue and Z, right?
Yeah.
And Z saying that she had some really deep conversation with Blue, and to find out he now has a girlfriend. His girlfriend would not appreciate that. What are your thoughts about this?
I think that, Z is very passionate.
Mm-hmm.
She's very passionate and she's very opinionated and she does not mind, sharing her opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So, kudos to her. I respect that.
Okay.
But Blue has always been Blue. Blue from the time that we started. Blue is the one like, let's get shots, let's get drinks. He's trying to get people drunk. With that being said, so when the women were getting eliminated, Blue talked to all of the women when they got eliminated. I remember when I had the exit date with V, where I had to represent the guys and what the guys were feeling, right?
Mhm.
Soon as the date was over, he was like, Blake, why don't you go ahead and slide me that number, to V, right? So,
Oh my
but from what I saw, I'm not behind. I'm not with the personal conversations, but I have
Yeah.
seen him out with these people thereafter, and it had
Mhm.
always been friendly, right? So I never picked up, dating when he went out with like a V or like a Jeffrey, right? Like it was always just cool. Sometimes people create their own narratives just to kind of, guide their agendas. But from what I've seen, and I've been there for a lot of it,
Yeah.
on camera, it was always innocent.
Moving right into speaking about innocence and mild mannered behavior, let's talk about Jeffrey. Right? Jeffrey and Andre revealed that they are not together,
Right.
in the reunion special. All right, again, what is your take on this?
For me, it's to be expected. I mean, I didn't see any surprise in it. I stayed in my lane during the show. So even though, she told this lie on me and came for me early on, I
Mhm.
still didn't really salt, her situation at all.
Okay.
I did have a conversation once with Dre though. Shout out to Dre. He was
Uh-huh.
my nemesis on the show. I think that would have been a much better show. But I pulled Dre to the side and was like, bro, we're all grown, not going to tell you, how to move about things, but you got to pay attention to how people treat people. Right. And if you see these patterns and you see what's going on with these other people, like you got to understand that, this could be you. And Dre, shout out to Dre. He was very very manly at the end. It was like, yo, B, you told me, you know what I'm saying? And, we had that combo and, I could acknowledge what you're saying. But, Jeffrey is Jeffrey, and as much as you want to feel a way about her, she is consistent, right? She will 10 toes down in who she is.
Yes, yes.
I don't know how that's going to work for a relationship, but,
Mhm.
just as a person, you know what you're getting, where the boundaries are, right? So if you get burned for playing with fire, you were playing at your own risk at that point, so
Okay.
that's what
Yeah.
it's been. I didn't appreciate the lies, and I see that there's still some other things going on that she's still saying, about me and trying to, paint these pictures. But like I constantly said from day one and on my interview on the show, I just don't give energy to, negativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
still trying to be cool with her. I jumped in one of her videos when she took a video, but
I saw that.
she's
I did see that. I did see that post, and I guess she kind of finagled it to be
right.
something more than what you thought it was in that moment. I guess you were just coming in for like a,
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I literally just bounced in her video and kept it moving. But I don't. You just kind of take things. I mean, especially as a man, right? I think that as
yeah.
men, we're held to a different standard, when
Mhm.
it comes to drama and cattiness and all these other things. And
Absolutely.
unfortunately, we always have to take the high road, right? If we're doing things right, we will take the high road. And a
Mhm.
lot of times, taking the high road makes you look bad, right? Or you get mud on your face. But
Right.
that mud on your face is still better than what you would look like for the damage you would cause, to someone else by responding or acting out or giving
Yeah.
it energy. So I always choose to just let it slide.
Okay. So to wrap it up, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give your ready to love experience for
Ooh.
yourself?
Um, as far as the people go and meeting everyone, I'd give it we had 10 people,
Yeah.
right? So I give it a 9, right? So
Okay.
actually make that an 8.5 because one of them is halfway, right? So I give it an 8.5.
Okay. Okay.
The experience itself, it was different. I had never done anything like it. So experience wise, a lot of long nights, Like people don't understand. You'll start filming at 8 a.m. and you won't be done until 3 a.m. Right.
Wow.
So yeah, on scene, doing takes, doing things over and over. So that was a solid 7. That was a solid 7. Um,
Okay.
Production, I think that was the hardest part for me. Just seeing the characters that they make,
Mhm.
out of what they're given.
Mhm.
Um, they I get it. It's entertainment, right? They do it for entertainment, but you know, people just have to understand. Anybody that's willing to do this, you got to know, like, you don't have control over the characters that they create.
Right.
So just go into it knowing it. I'm not saying don't do it. You know, it's still fun, but you got to be thick-skinned to know that, you know, they may make you the good guy or they may make you the bad guy. You got to be good, you know, either way.
Yeah. Because they will create a narrative for you, you know?
Definitely.
To push for entertainment, because it's, at the end of the day, that's what this is for, is entertainment. So it's good that you're thick-skinned and you made it out on top. You got a little scathe, you know, going through it, but you still made it out on top. So, you know, kudos to you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
All right, Blake. Well, I thank you so much for stopping by for a quick update, right? And we wish you the best of luck. We really appreciate you taking the time out to stop by. And to everyone out there, thank you for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button to support our channel. Also, drop a comment in the comment section below. Blake and Couples Couch would love to hear from you. Again, I thank you for watching, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Bye, everyone.
See you, Blake.